Hello, my friends and family and esteemed colleagues. This brief video I want to make about what is happening now in the United States, that the prices again of medication rose up, especially now people who have family with diabetes and they cannot get to insulin, or because it's just ridiculously expensive. Of course, there's no reason for it other than basically they are stealing money. So what should people do that require insulin? Well, if you go and check my videos about diabetes, you are going to understand that very few people, maybe less than 10% of those who suffer from elevated blood sugar, which diabetes is, have nothing wrong with their pancreas. What they have basically is poisoning with dietary glucose. Now, why is this disease now so common? Because we are all being fooled that we have to eat vegetables and we have to cook them well, we have to cook everything well, even meat, but we are discouraged from taking meat. But stick to vegetables, stick to carbohydrates, but the good carbohydrates. Don't take the sugar on the table, you know, the white stuff, because that white stuff, that's just bad for you. But glucose, starch, no, this is important, this is necessary. Brain cannot work without it. Well, those are all lies. Lies that are being told in schools. We doctors, we all know about it. So we are just not intelligent enough to see that we are being fooled. Body produces sugar. Liver does, because liver is the only organ in a body that can break down glycogen to liberate the glucose and then push it into the bloodstream. Every cell in our body can produce sugar because it has mitochondria. The process is done in mitochondria. But only liver cells can push it into bloodstream. Other organs, other tissues that produce sugar to be actually used as a cellular fuel are muscles and brain. And the glycogen that they have, they cannot use unless we are in stress, unless cortisol is being produced, because it's necessary to break the bond and to liberate glucose. And then neither muscle or brain can then push this glucose into the blood. It's for their own personal use, for stressful situation, to give us a little boost. That's why I call it the boosting fuel. But we should normally be in what we are calling the ketogenic state. And sugar level should be always below radar. What does it mean, sugar below radar? It means that when we have this low level of sugar in the blood, insulin is not squirted into blood. And when cells need sugar to make amino acids, they send out the GLUT sugar transporting mechanism to bring in the sugar. So there is no need for insulin. Insulin is only squirted into the blood if the sugar level go above the radar, means there's a significant increase, and this happens in natural state only when we are in a stress, when liver does it. Now, how come that people are not in stress and they have high blood sugar? Because they eat it. Now, how come that animals don't have this problem? Because the sugar that creates these problems is the one that we are calling the safe sugar, is the dietary glucose. Why dietary? Because it is manipulated to be able to be absorbed. In nature, this is not possible because glucose, starch, in nature is always covered with a film of cellulose. To break it out of the cellulose, we use heat. Whenever you cook something that is connected with vegetables, because the fiber of vegetables is cellulose, and it breaks with heat. If you eat vegetables raw, you benefit zero energetically from this vegetable, because the little nutrient that it has that we can use is all inside cells. Very little is in the juice of these vegetables. And you need juicer, you need to make a liter of juice, you need 10 kilo of vegetables. And even that juice has minimal amount of energy in it, minimal. It has more poisons in it, phytoproteins, which plants are using to defend themselves. So it creates more havoc than it actually helps you. Again, I make video about it, and I write about it in my blogs. In my book, I explain the thing, but people just cannot believe that this is true, so they just, nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. 15 years, more than 15 years, I'm trying to wake up people, wake up doctors. Nobody's budging. Anyway, so people who have elevated blood sugar, the so-called diabetes, doesn't matter 1 or 51 or 2, whatever we are calling nowadays, resistance to insulin. Basically, they're eating a lot of carbohydrates, processed, cooked vegetables, especially those loaded with starch, which are usually roots, like potatoes, or seeds, like legumes, like maize, corn, and other cultured seeds that we are using. They all affect our digestion negatively. This is why horses get colitis, because they feed them with the freaking seeds. And we have all kinds of digestive problems that we attribute to autoimmunity, not a baloney disease. And it's all based because we are poisoning ourselves with plants. We are not herbivores. And even herbivores, they only use green stuff that is low on carbohydrate, and they ferment it, and they need to eat a ton of it. So vegans that eat fermented food, and they have this little bit of fermented food, and they think, oh, this is feeding them. This is nothing. They need to have a stomach like horse, like gorilla, to be able to have enough fermentation going on, and they would have to eat constantly, like gorillas. Anyway, so what can you do now when insulin is expensive if you don't have money for it? And not even if you don't have money. Just try to use your mind logically. Go read my blogs, read my book, listen to my videos if you don't like reading. It is very simple. Don't be panicky. Stop poisoning yourself with dietary, which means processed or heated vegetables and fruits of any kind. Switch to meat, to animal products, cheese, yogurt, milk, eggs, and any kind of animal. Because once when you do it, it takes about 3 days of zero, not little bit, not lowering the amount of starch that you are eating. You have to take it completely out, because if you still even every other day have 1 spoon of spaghetti or rice or 1 slice of bread, your cells are going to remain in the fight and flight situation. They are not going to switch. And you are going to live with high levels of sugar. You have to completely cut it out. Cut out any vegetables that is cooked or processed. You can have some raw salad, but that, again, is full of pesticides and gives you 0 benefits. 0, other than good taste. This is why once in 2 weeks I have salad. Caesar salad, I love it, but without the bread on it. Okay, so stop getting fooled. Everything you need is in meat and fat of meat. All the vitamins that you need are there. You don't need any supplements, but you should not overcook it. Meat, including eggs, including milk, they are healthiest when they are not heated. Now we are used to have cooked food. Okay, so you can sear the meat so its inside is raw and just on the outside gives you the smell, and you will see that raw meat is sweet, tender. It's much tastier than when it's cooked. When it cooks, especially overcooks, it gets mealy, slightly bitter, like liver, unedible. If you just quickly sear liver, put fair amount of salt on it, use only sea salt, not refined, not iodized sea salt, plain natural sea salt. You get a lot of magnesium there, you get all the minerals that you need. And you have to start drinking a lot of plasma, water with sea salt. So this way your body, first days, can take out the sugar that is above the radar. Okay, your liver will turn it into fat, but still, first days, because your absorption of sugar is very high. You have tremendous amount of glut running into your cells because you are glucoholic. You have changed your metabolism to sugar. So first few days until sugar drops, you will have a little problem with not only because of sugar, but because you are going to change your food. So your fauna, flora, fauna, intestinal has to change. It will change rapidly. It takes a couple days. So within 3 days, your cells will activate all the mitochondria necessary to produce enough energy, electricity, so you can run your body, including your brain. If necessary, your brain cells will have 4,000 mitochondria. Don't worry, plenty of energy. And what is important, that this energy is going to be there even when you are sleeping, because you have enough fat. And triglyceride is what is your designated fuel. So you will not need any insulin. Your sugar at the beginning is going to be higher because of absorption. You are absorbing any piece of sugar that is around. And also, since you are calibrated on sugar, cells will be in starvation because they have to adjust, and they need 3 days to adjust. So first couple days, you will be running underpowered, and your cells will go in a stress situation. They themselves will produce stress hormones to break down the glycogen so you can operate properly. And when that happens in brain, when you get the stress hormones, yes, you are going to feel first sleepy because you are out of energy, and then if you have to perform, then you will feel aggravated. This is your bipolarity, comes right from this wrong fuel. But within 3 days, this is all going to settle down. And you don't need any insulin, you don't need metformin, you don't need nothing. Actually, you should not be taking it. If you change this diet like this, you have to be very careful not to shoot insulin, because you are going to go into hypoglycemia, including if you take metformin or any other pill that interferes with your liver's producing glucose. So if you switch your food even if you have metformin, even if you have insulin, do not use them until you check your sugar, and then use half of what you normally use, because your sugar levels are going to be dropping. Control your stress. This is also very important. So this way the glycogen that you have stored is not going to be broken down and pushed by liver into the blood, because this is going to make the jump in the sugar level. But keep fear away. Everything we are told about diseases is garbage, is wrong. Everything. The highest professors in the school are repeating nonsense. Okay? The germ theory is completely wrong. And there are people in charge who know it and do not want to tell, because money comes out of misery. So please, do not worry. Do not waste your money buying these chemicals, overpriced poisons. Change your diet. Once when you do it, you will see the health is going to completely shift. But when you start doing this kind of a protocol of change diet and hydration through plasma, your body is going to go immediately into cleansing mode. And when your blood first starts cleansing out, so you start having the symptoms of cleansing of the blood, which is usually change of color of the urine, and because glomerules that cleanse blood are also loaded in your mucosal tissue and in your skin, depending on the level of toxicity of your blood, you are going to have symptoms that could resemble symptoms of flu. But within 3 weeks, your blood is going to be clean enough for your cells to hydrate, and then when they start hydrating and throwing their toxicity, the toxic level of your blood increases like never before, because the toxicity of the cell is very high when it's dehydrated. And this can bring all kinds of symptoms of COVID. Okay? COVID doesn't exist. This is all farce. No virus exists. All dengue, all these diseases, they are attributed to viruses. They are not caused by microorganisms, because virus does not exist. They are only symptoms of toxic blood and its cleansing. All the symptoms: pain, joint pain, muscle pain, nausea, diarrhea, constipation, because once when body starts hydrating, it sucks all the liquid back into the circulation, keeping your feces dry, gets compacted, and closes you up. So you cannot go to the bathroom. And no fiber is going to help you. Plasma, water with minerals. Sometimes it takes 8 liters of water daily, or plasma daily, to get system going, so you have enough for cleansing and enough to stay in your intestines to keep feces soft so you can evacuate. Remember, everything you are told by your doctor is wrong, because doctors do not investigate. They don't have time. They are too busy and too ignorant. If they would know truth, we don't need any pharmaceuticals. We don't need doctors. Only surgeons in case of accident. And even this we don't need if we would know the truth and work on it and use the instruments and mind to heal. But that's topic for another time. Please don't panic. You don't need any insulin, any metformin. You can get rid of your diabetes forever. Changing your diet and allowing your body to cleanse. This is all for now. If you need guidance, please contact me. Love you all.